Hello everyone. Welcome to Traveling Bits. My name is Jeet. These are extraordinary times due to COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdown just got extended by another 2 weeks. Fitness and mental health are very important now. Keeping that in mind, we will be talking today to fitness enthusiast and yoga teacher Arunima Sharma from Dehradun. Welcome Arunima to Traveling Bits.
Hello, thank you for having me.
First of all, can you tell us in brief about yourself, your background?
In a nutshell, I am from Dehradun. I am an Astanga yoga practitioner and teacher. I am even an interior designer. I have been born and brought up in Dehradun. I have spent most of my adult life in Delhi. I studied there and I did my interior designing there. I came across yoga about 3.5 years, 3 years ago, and I've never looked back since. It's extremely weird for me to coming from a field from interior design where I was working in a corporate section and to completely go into the spiritual aspect of our being and to understand things that are that are out of our comfort zone or our mind's understanding. But yeah, it's been a beautiful journey so far. I'm an extremely funny person. I believe in living my life extremely directly. It might come across as curt, but I prefer being direct with people. And I'm extremely close to my friends. I'm a dog lover. I love cooking like a lot of other people. And yes, and in a nutshell, that's about me. I'm 32, and yeah.
All right. Uh, so, could you tell us when and how did you get started working on fitness?
So I will not have take any names. I was working under a company in Delhi, which was sort of as a designer only, which sort of took a lot out of me than I had to give as a human, as a working person in the company. And I was with them, I think, a little over 2 years, and I sort of exhausted my mental space as well as my physical space while being with them. I would come back home crying every day. I was bringing the a bad environment back to my house, as well as I was sort of soaking it all in. So I just feel that I was starting to turn out into a very negative person. I was always lashing out. I was always upset. I was always angry. And on one aspect I was going on, and on the other aspect I was going through a little relationship which was also not working out the way I wanted it to be. So I think the combination of both of this, and I'm a little heightened on emotions. I'm a highly emotional person. So I think the combination of these two made me come to a decision of leaving Delhi altogether, is where I was staying for almost a decade. I shifted back home and I had a lot of time on my hands because I was thinking of pursuing interior designing here only and setting up my own career, my own business over here. And I just had someone teaching yoga near my house, and I was like, oh, I'm just sitting at home and hogging and gaining weight. Why not just join a class? It's close to me. I have practiced before. I was an athlete in school. I was a runner. I was a big time runner in school. So I think, and I have been a dancer also. I have a certification in Kathak, and I've done jazz also. So sort of movement was always part of my life, but I didn't professionally take it forward. Once I joined these classes, I think my body tended to reciprocate extremely fast to yoga. And the kind of person that I didn't want to be because of what I had shifted back, I sort of had a little control on that person. I was a little more calmer in my being. I was starting to function faster. I would wake up and not always be in like a foul mood, wanting to like shoot everyone in front of me. I was more warm. I was using better vocabulary. I was not being mean to people all the time. So I think I started noticing these changes, and because I had more times, I decided to do. I got a little more into it. I studied a little more about yoga, the different forms that are there, and because I'm young, so I sort of related to Ashtanga because it's a faster form of practice in yoga, and I decided to do a teacher's training. So I did a 200 hours and a 300 hours teacher's training from Rishikesh. in Ashtanga Yoga, and I got certified by Yoga Alliance USA. And I think post that there was no looking back, because it's just a part of a process. When you're putting that kind of effort every day and you're seeing that effort in your body and in your lifestyle and in every fiber of your being, and you like it so much, you don't want to go away, you just want to put more effort. So I started putting in more hours, I started reading more, I started understanding where is the philosophy coming from. I just started soaking in as much as the internet or as much as people around me could give. um, I think that year end, I decided to go to someone called Sharmila Desai in Goa. And I think that was extremely life changing for me. The way I felt people practice there, we used to get into the shala at around like 6 o'clock in the morning, and till 9 we were practicing Ashtanga Vinasa flows. And there's like a huge room, and there are about 50 to 70 people rotating at one time, and the only thing that you can hear is breath work. The only thing you can hear is breathing. And the kind of people I met over there, the walk of lives that they were coming from, the kind of things they had achieved or lost in their life and still coped up with it because of yoga being in their life. That sort of, that environment sort of changed me, and I knew that this is where I want my life. This is where I want to reach in my life. I want to be peaceful, and I want to have a more fitter body, and I want to surround myself with the people who are present in that environment. So yeah, and I think after that, I was practicing with her for 2 months, which was beautiful all throughout. And that sort of changed, it was like life changing for me. Since then, I travel every winter to practice with someone. I have practiced with Sharmila Mahesh, who is the granddaughter of Patabai Joyce. I have practiced with a couple of people here and there in Bangalore, in Goa, in Rishikesh. I have attended the International Yoga Festival now twice, and it's been an absolute honor to come across the people, the teachers, the gurus that pour in from across the world for the festival, and what they have to propagate and teach you, and what you learn out of them in terms of a spirituality session. How closer you come to your own self, you start checking. You sort of, your issues and problems stay same, but yoga sort of makes you turn inwards and decide that if you were to solely fix your own self, take care of yourself, take care of your actions, your words, you not hurting anyone, you not doing wrong. And if you look at it, if we were all to just simply do that, I think the world would just automatically tend to become a better place. And so that's been a little about my journey and how I got into it. It's helped me cope with a lot of things. It's helped me cope with my anxiety. It's helped me cope with my PCOD. I've had PCOD now, I think, for above 5 years, and it's never, my hormone levels have never been as better as they have been over the past 2 years. So it helped me deal with my anxiety pangs, it helped me deal with my PCOD, it helped me deal with weight issues, it helped me deal with my relationships, everything that was going wrong. So the issues same, the issues stay same, but they sort of, you become a little more wiser and stronger to deal with everything that's happening around you. Yeah,
All right.
so that's a little about myself and the journey.
Can you tell us about origin of yoga?
Oh, yoga is, I think yoga is the oldest. I think there's nothing older than yoga. It comes from, so Ashtanga particularly was revived by Patabai Joyce. There are different forms of yoga, and I do not know about every form. I do not know where every form comes from. Ashtanga basically was revived by Patabai Joyce in the 70s. He passed away in 2004, I think. And he started running his Shala from Mysore. His son still runs the Mysore Shala, and they are extremely famous. So they even have apparently they even have the glorified book of Ashtanga, which goes from generation to generation of absolutely hardcore dedicated Ashtanga yogis. So he revived it. That's where Ashtanga has come from. And they say that yoga was actually so Lord Vishnu's, there are different forms. So yoga comes from Shiva also. And they say Lord Vishnu's snake was given a rebirth to come into this world as Patanjali and spread yoga again. So there are a lot of different variations as to where yoga comes from, but I know it's ancient. I know it comes from the gods or the universe or the Almighty, and it's here to help us be able to go through everything that the current world has to offer us, like Corona. Yeah.
Okay. So can I, infer that there is no clear idea that when and how yoga originated?
There are stories behind it, but it's just that there are. So now, let's say Iyengar students follow what BKIS Iyengar propagated. Okay, Ashtanga yoga followers follow what Padabhai Joyce propagated. And if you look at all the styles, they have almost the asanas are similar. The way to do them is what will change. Let's say in yin yoga, you tend to maybe hold a warrior pose for a longer time. So, you're building on strength, you're building on your breath more. In Ashtanga, you're moving from one asana to another. So, of course, the stamina building, strength training, control of the body, balance, harmony, all of that. Hatha yoga is a little more softer, it's a little more slower. So, like if a student was to come to me and they were a little elderly, I would maybe preferably start with a hatha yoga practice, and then I would go on to, I would never go on to Ashtanga. If they were like in the late 50s or 60s, I would not touch Ashtanga. I would just go on with a hatha yoga class. So every form of yoga has a certain guru attached to it, and they further, if you go up, then it comes from Patanjali. It all comes from Patanjali's 8 sutras and the Vedas, and it's all in the scriptures over there, and that's where it's filtered into the rest of the world over generation, and that's how it's reached us.
So, Arunima, from the historical point of view and timeline, so are you saying that the yogas are available since the time of the Vedas?
I think so. If you look at it, there is this asana called Warrior One, which actually comes. Which the history of that asana is that when Shiva and Parvati, that Parvati went to earth, something like that, and she was जब उनका यज्ञ हुआ था, and when she became Sati, so Shiva got so angry that he sent out his troops to kill the entire land, and in the motion while this is happening, the position that the warrior took to bring about devastation was Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3, the asanas that we do in an Ashtanga series. So there is a lot of history attached to them. So they come from Shiva also, and then they were brought back to us by Patanjali. So everyone might have a different approach to it, but when I look at it, me personally, I believe that it has come to us from the Vedas, it has come to us from the gods, if there is God. It has come to us from the source above, because it's a spiritual practice. It is a practice where you open yourself to the divine and you try and understand things that are beyond a human's understanding. And that couldn't be man-made. That just couldn't be man-made.
Okay. Can you talk about the pros and cons of yoga for a layman to understand?
Pros and cons. I will be very simple. So usually people tend to think that so yoga does heal a lot of stuff, and I will not say that it will cure your problem, but it will heal to an extent where that problem will not reoccur. For example, I'll take a very layman solution. For example, slip disc. We hear so many people from the younger generation who are now suffering with slip disc problem because of bad working hours, no fitness, maybe eating too much non-veg, always being used in liver, just sitting, and XYZ. So yoga has got people who have been suggested to go through surgery and get stents and everything in the spine. Yoga has brought those people back from the level of surgery. Because if once you get a surgery done for anything, then there's no coming back. एक बार कुछ artificial आपकी body में हो गया, वो natural बन ही नहीं पाएगी. So the best is to try and heal it as much as you can naturally. So it has brought people back to a stage where they've come back to become marathon runners, okay? Or I know one of the yoginis that we all follow, and she's insanely famous. She apparently had at a young age crushed both her ankles, and she was told that she will never be able to walk again, and she fell from like I think 40 feet of rope climbing. And today she is an international yogini. We all follow her. She is a rage in our fraternity. So the pros are that it can help you heal from trauma, be it mental and physical. It can help you deal with depression, anxiety, PCOD, slip disc, hernia, shoulder injury, wrist injury, and so forth. The cons are that if you do not give your body rest, okay, so a lot of people, everyone's aware that there's something called shavasana, which is the resting pose, balasana and everything. But I have noticed that people don't rest. They will do an hour's yoga and they will just start doing something else. If you do not give your body proper rest, and if you just keep jumping from one thing to another and just keep going, your body will get exhausted. Your body will have wear and tear, which is you are not nourishing it. So there are people who have ended up getting, let's say, hip problems. Okay, their hip has shifted alignment. I know so many people who still get wrist issues because if you know about anything about yoga, we do a lot of headstands, we do a lot of handstands, forearm stands. But a lot of time I notice people, and I was one of them, and I have fixed my practices while I know other people are doing. Let's say we start preparing for a handstand, we will not do the right mobility to strengthen our wrists, and we will just start with getting into a handstand immediately. Now what happens is our feet and our ankles are designed to take our body's weight. If sometimes you will meet someone who is a little overweight than the weight for their height, you'll notice that they have swelling in their feet, their uric acid is increased, or they have a little issue around this area because the ankle is built to take a certain amount of weight. Now, if you go beyond that weight, it will stress your ankle. Same thing with our wrists. Our wrists are not made to take our body's weight. So when we start putting weight on our wrists, and if we've not nourished them properly or not done the right wrist mobility or open them in the right way, what will happen? It will crack. So, this is the con. If you do not do the practice carefully and with information from the right source, you can go horribly wrong. You can fall flat on your face, break your neck, a million things can go wrong. So I feel it's very important that when you get into a field like yoga, अगर आप ने teachers training भी करी है, please अपना logic लगाइए उसमें. Don't just read something and just keep blindly following it. Understand where the pull has to come from. Understand where do you have to stretch. Understand where is the strength going to come from. What is the core? Is the core in the front? Is it extending to the back? So try and understand the human anatomy a little before you just dive into a practice. So that is the con I feel with the practice. But otherwise, they're just pros. They're just pros about what the practice can bring to your life.
So, to be a good yoga practitioner, what things are important?
To be a good yoga practitioner, what is important? Discipline. Discipline is extremely important. You lack discipline and your practice will suffer. They say that if you miss out on one day's asana practice also, and if you're a beginner, you tend to go 7 days back. And I have been a beginner. I'm still a beginner. I feel I'm still a work in progress. And sometimes if I were to miss practice, I can see changes in my body the next day only. Like, I'll just be groaning a little more and be like, oh, this is hurting. And I'll be like, why did I practice yesterday? Why did I miss one day of practice? So I feel discipline is the key, because what this practice is deriving needs from you. No faint-hearted could do it. You need to be on a proper food regime. You need to eat the right amount of food. You need to watch what you're eating. You need to watch what time you're eating. You need to see whether you're putting liquor in your body, whether how much non-veg you're putting. Is non-veg really good for your body? Are you made to eat non-veg? Should you let it be? It's a daily challenge to overcome the little negative issues that we as men fall into. For example, liquor. So easy to fall in the trap of liquor. It's beautiful. It gives you high. Life is very pretty. Now, to bring yourself back from that on a daily basis and understand that it's not good for your practice, it's not good for you physically, is the challenge. So um, I feel discipline is the key. You need to understand what you're doing. Okay, not just be a part of the rat race. I recently noticed that so many people have gotten into yoga. Everybody wants to teach yoga, but what they do is they do a little course and they will just start. Okay, because the focus is not yoga. The focus is making money. And when you are in a field like yoga, your focus cannot solely be making money, because we, the 10% who has come into this field, we are here in this field to help the world become a better place. And if we also just started solely focusing on money, we will not be able to make the world a better place. Money is extremely very crucial. You need to live, you need to eat, you need to move forward in life. You need to do video conferences. You need good internet connection. You need to pay. So money is equally important. But where impacts is why we're in the field. So I feel discipline, having the right knowledge, understanding what your body needs, what you need. Sit with yourself, talk to yourself, understand what you are wanting from the practice. Do you want peace? Do you just want a good body? Why are you in yoga specifically? To understand that need, to bring that need and attach it with a teacher or a guru. Understand, let's say if I'm in Ashtanga, okay, I pick the laptop up, I type down Ashtanga teachers in India, and I see who I vibe with, who I relate with, and then I go and plant myself under that guru and take whatever that person has to offer me. So getting the right knowledge from the right source is so important, because we are living in a technologically driven world. There is ample information on the internet. Now, if you're a beginner, how do you know what is right? Everyone knows 2 plus 2 is 4, because that's been there for years. We know what is there in yoga also, but yoga is filtered into so much now. So it's very important that if you, as a beginner practitioner, you attach yourselves to someone who you vibe with and who's the correct teacher, so that your practice is given a goal and a destination to reach. So I think discipline, the right teacher in the beginning, have the right attitude if you're in a practice like yoga. And I would love to, like, I would like to want to take this mode to tell people that if you're a yoga practitioner, try not calling people, try and be nice, because that's why people come to this field. This field is attached with decades and decades of history of spirituality and warmth and kindness behind it, and it's very important we propagate the same. So yeah, be a humanitarian, challenge yourself, be disciplined, find the right teacher. I think for as a yoga practice, and please every day practice yoga every day. If you're a beginner, they say for a beginner it takes 3 to 5 years for a body to open up, especially as we adult, our body tends to get more stiff. So practice and every day, put your heart and soul into it. If you're upset, if you're derailed in your life, come on your mat, sit on it, cry if you want to. There have been times where life has put me down and I've come on my mat, and while I am practicing, I am crying. And as my practice goes further, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, the crying has stopped. And by the end of 1 hour, I have come out. I've eradicated that thought. I am stronger. And by the time I get off, I'm smiling and I'm like, come on, let's do this. So whatever it is, bring to your mat and start learning to deal with things with on your own self with clarity in your mind, which the mat will bring you. So
Okay,
for beginners, I think it's that.
all right. So, though yoga originated in India, recently
Yes.
again it is becoming popular here, and we can see that coming up of glamorous yoga studios. So, yoga
Yeah.
proponents like Bikram Yoga made it popular outside India. So, how is the scene here?
I think it's a tad bit chaotic, and I don't blame yoga for it. Um, when I look at the world is just a chaotic place. Everyone is trying to reach home. Everyone's trying to find their way. So even yoga teachers are trying to understand what path to take, where to take, how to do things. And building a studio is not easy. When you start something like yoga, it just doesn't bring you truckloads of money in the beginning. Because if you look at it in, let's say in Dehradun, if I price my class at let's say 3,000 for a month, people are like, But you need to understand that this is what we are earning. People are getting bulk in salaries with them. We cannot do that. We cannot price. I can go to 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. Beyond that, how much can I charge for a monthly basis? Right? So we have our little restrictions beyond which we cannot go. So because of that, a lot of yoga teachers suffer. So I feel it is a little chaotic. People are trying to find which direction to take in terms of whether to do online classes, you do personal sessions, you open up a studio, you open up a shala. People are still trying to figure that out. But there are a lot of good yoga teachers out there who are doing splendidly. They're doing amazing work sitting at home. They are putting because the social media has filtered into India, because of which it has filtered into small towns. It is giving women like us and men also the opportunity to do things online. So now, if you look at it, Corona is like you can take it as a blessing also. It's opened this bandwidth of the entire world for us, where we can come and put our practice forward and have people follow us. So I feel it is coming up. People are becoming a little more aware. I just feel that students will become a little more aware too, because I feel yoga is still more popular in the West than in the East. And as you said, it's an origin of our country. But you know how they say the grass is always looking greener on the other side. तो जब foreigners वो कर रहे थे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है, पर हम realize नहीं करते कि यार हमारी country से रहा है. We should turn around and see what it has to give us. It is from our own land. We are sitting in the land of Himalayas, of Kedarnath, Badrinath, Rishikesh. We are just sitting on freaking holy land, but we are not realizing the true potential. So I feel the scene is getting a little better. People are becoming a little more informative. A lot of there is just such a huge bandwidth of online portals that have come up, where you do not have to. You can teach from the comfort of your own house, even if you're a small town person. So earlier, these portals just existed in metropolitan cities. But now, if you are good, they are willing to pick you up from a small town, and because you're teaching from your house, you just need a good Wi-Fi connection. Again, because social media has grown so much, a lot of the international brands, let's say they could be clothing brands, have started recognizing yoga practitioners from the country and started picking them up to represent their own brand. So, and I think that is so huge. There is a brand which is massively famous for all its yoga clothing, and they have picked up someone from Manali, from Vashish, to come online and do yoga courses for them. And that brand is so famous, and it's such a proud moment that they've started recognizing Indian talent too. And it's so strange because this comes from our country, but usually teachers in the West are more famous. There's just a handful of Indian teachers who are really famous for yoga. So I think the scene is changing slowly, slowly. People are becoming more aware. People are becoming a little more educative as to how they can put themselves outside and where all they can propagate themselves. It's a little time consuming, but I feel as we move forward, everyone will get there.
Okay.
But it is nice. It's nice. It's all good. A lot of people are turning towards yoga, especially now. A number of people who've approached me for yoga since Corona began. It's insane. And I feel that all of us teachers, so many teachers I talk to, we're just trying to put ourselves out there, especially with meditation and breath work, because I think if the world needs something like this, now is the time. My heart goes out to the people who are probably stuck at home and are under domestic violence, or maybe cramped up in a house in 2 bedrooms with, like, let's say 10 people, and so much other pain that is there in the world. So I think this is the time, if we could reach out to as many people and sort of help everyone positively grow and sort of change the way the world looks now. Yeah.
Okay. So you are very near to the place Rishikesh, known as the
Yes.
yoga capital of the world.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so how did that happen, that Rishikesh became the yoga capital of the world?
I think because how did that happen? I'm sorry, I'm not really sure how did that happen. But I think it actually started because Rishikesh has been the land that has been touched by a lot of Rishi Munis in the past. Over, like, since the world has been there, the planet has been there, Rishikesh has been there. Rishikesh has been touched by a lot of lords, a lot of saints, a lot of sadhus, a lot of gurus. They have come there, they have meditated for years. Then their followers have come there, meditated. Ganga passes through there. You have the Ram Jhula, Lakshman Jhula. You have stories about how the Beatles came to Rishikesh. So if you look at this land in all its being as an entity, you have had people who have been saints or lineages in their field come there, reside there, meditate there, have awakenings there. So I feel that just, and because the Ganges passes through there, it just sort of makes that land holy. Wherever the Ganges pass, if you look at Varanasi also, you look at Gomukh also, wherever the Ganges pass from, they're said to be a holy land. So I think over years, because all of this filtration has happened, has ended up becoming as a yoga capital. And today also, it's hosting the International Yoga Festival. You still have so many teachers from the West who are, let's say, Kundalini experts or experts in any other spiritual realm, who come there and hold their retreats, because again the land is so pure. You had Ram come there, you had Lakshman come there in their times. I'm talking to my friends, but you have stories of them who have come over there and meditated. You have the famous Vashisht cave over there. You had uh, Beatles, when they were at the lowest of their career, they came there and found transcendental meditation, because of which Rishikesh really did become famous, because of which Beatles ashram became really famous. And during that meditation is when they found the truth of life, and they decided to stay there and then build their songs over there. So whoever has come to their place, we are just human, but even the lords have visited those places and left their traces back, which we can now feel over there. So I think that's how it's just sort of the land has become pure in its being, is why it's known as the
So,
pure.
Arunima, I
I
have
do not know if this is a Google saying. That is what I feel. I'm so sorry. I don't know exactly why it is called the capital of the world. I should actually. But I feel spiritually, I think that's how we all connect to the land so much. Yeah.
all right. I have been to Rishikesh a couple of times, and
Yeah.
from what I see, that even though Rishikesh is doing so good in terms of yoga, the economic activity has increased tremendously because of that. The infrastructure may not have probably developed that much, and also I kind of seeing that there is kind of a lot of commercialization of yoga which has happened. Some people are not happy about it. A lot of cross-border commercialization also happening. People have come outside. So I want to ask you, because you are a yoga teacher and have been very close to Rishikesh, and so the direction it is going, is it good for yoga? Is it good for India?
You really want me to tell you what I feel?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I am with you on the tangent that it's becoming commercialized, and it hurts my heart to see that people are. There are people who are conning the West or the East with just money and saying, "Oh, we'll give you 200 hours of classes. Oh, we will give you 500 hours of teacher training. Oh, you'll be certified." But that's where we need to use our own mind. Let's say a five. If someone's offering you a 500 class, 500-hour teacher training in 1 month, you can learn it for sure, but your body also needs to open, right? And the physical body will open in time. That is why it's called a practice. You practice every day to reach a certain asana, because if someone were to come and tell me, "Oh, can you do this today?" I will not be able to do it. I need to understand how you're doing it. I need to practice it today, tomorrow, day after, and then day after you come and see whether I can do it. So I think that's why people need to put their own mind that you cannot learn something like this just in 1 month. Okay? And people are taking an absurd amount of money for what they're teaching, which I feel is wrong. I understand that we have to run your center, you have to pay for electricity, you have to pay for, the staff that you have for what you're teaching. But to charge people an exorbitant amount, That's never needed. That's not needed in any field, and especially where a field where you're trying to help people to become better versions of themselves. So I feel that is a little wrong. And with the way people are going, we are in a Kalyug, we're in Ghor Kalyug, we're like bang right in the center of it. So people tend to look at the spiritual aspect and they're just looking at it as money making aspect. That is why I feel it sort of is losing its essence a little. And let's say for me as a yoga practitioner, I will today, and I do this today also. I hope people from Rishikesh don't like see this interview and come like find me and hound me. But me as a practitioner, I look at Mysore or I look at Goa, which in fact, if you talk about Goa, it's like a party place, but they have such beautiful and such serious teachers running their practice from Goa itself. So if I want to look at for myself to go and practice somewhere, I would either look at Mysore or I would look at Goa. And Rishikesh being such close proximity to me, I would still not look at it. So I wish it was not there, and I wish people sort of stepped back a little and saw that how whoever's coming from to them is probably coming from a difficult background, or is really seeking something, or is probably giving that huge amount with a lot of difficulty. So to not do that, but it is what it is. It is how it is everywhere. But yeah, I do agree with you that it is not going in the right direction. It sort of is losing its essence over the past couple of years. Yeah.
Okay. Just recently, I think the government also kind of helped, particularly Prime Minister Modi, kind of taking yoga to everywhere. I think he has been a good
Yes.
ambassador of yoga.
Yes.
Does that
Yes.
help?
It does help when your prime minister is propagating the practice that you're a part of. It definitely helps because people might not listen to you. People will listen to him. He's in every house. He's on every channel. He's in the news. He's on the app. He's just everywhere. And if he is propagating something like yoga, see, no offense to people, but a lot of times people don't tend to use their own mind. आपने ये कह दिया हम इसको follow कर देंगे, उसने ये कह दिया हम उसको भी follow कर लेंगे. I'm not someone like that, and I feel whatever comes your way, don't to put too much of your mind also, but at least put a little logic to it. And there are so many sitting at home, they're not working out. We have so many cases of diabetes, depression, young people are suffering from so many issues, PCOD, PCOS. There's just so much going wrong health-wise with people. And when Modi filters your television set, okay, let's say old people also, when Modi filters your television set, you'll be like, ये Prime Minister है, सही बोल रहे तो चलो yoga class join कर ही लेते हैं. The number of elderly clan that has gotten up and started doing, and no offense to the elderly clan, and all my love to them, but it takes a little time to get something across them, okay? Because, and it's not their fault. They have lived a certain way, let's say till they're 50, okay? To have them look at something else is very difficult to change your thought process of 50 years. So the elderly clan has sort of got up and be like कि हमें अपने पेट के बारे में कुछ करना है, हमें अपनी health के बारे में कुछ करना है, मोदी कह रहे हैं. So it does help. There's so many parents who have, because Modi says that India is the only country with the maximum population of youth. Youth को योगा करना चाहिए. The number of parents who have approached me कि हमारे बच्चे को आप योगा कराइए, meditation कराइए, is beautiful. It's just beautiful. So I think that really helps, and I think the more we empowers yoga, the more empowerment we get, because we are through him filtering every household. So yeah,
All
it
right.
does help.
So can you tell our viewers recognized institutions where they can learn yoga and attain quality certifications?
See, I can't really actually name specific places because there are just so many. Okay, firstly, there are different forms of yoga. There is hatha, there is iyengar, there is yin yoga, there is power yoga. So it depends on what the viewer
No,
wants to
I
do.
understand. If we can take 2-3 popular forms of yoga, if you could just tell
So let's
institutions.
say yeah, let's say if you wanted to do a hatha practice, Sivananda is extremely famous. They have their roots within the country. If your viewers are from abroad, they have ashrams all across the world. So it's Sivananda, let's say, for a hatha practice. If you want to go to an Ashtanga practice, you can try to go to Mysore to Bharat Chetty, which runs Indie Yoga School. You can even go to Sharad Joyce, which runs the Patabhai Joyce Ashram, if you're into Ashtanga practice. For Yin Yoga, let's say for Iyengar, you can go to, there are very few, I think there are very few teachers who are directly credited by Iyengar. To teach the practice forward, as he has passed away. But there are two really famous Iyengar students sitting in Dehradun itself. Their shala is called Yogdhara. Yogdhara. It's in Dehradun only. You can Google it, and they have a lot of courses and teacher trainings in Iyengar practice. So you can go to them. You want to, let's say, go for Kundalini meditation, Kundalini yoga. There is Anand Mehrotra sitting in Rishikesh. You can go to him. So this is what you can do. There is the Bihar School of Yoga. You can go to that. They're all good schools. So I think it depends on what practice you want to go to. You could try these couple of names that I have taken if that is the practice that you are seeking for. And yeah, so I think that is a good place to start. But just because I have this moment, I would just like to tell your viewers that before you decide on what school you want to go, just take a one step back, see what forms of yoga are there. Okay, make a table or an Excel sheet, see what forms of yoga are there. Just write a little description of each form, read it, see what you're vibing with. Okay, so let's say I am someone, I talk fast also, I move fast also. So an Ashtanga completely fits my nature. Okay, if you're someone who's a softer, to a gentle person, you want a more relaxed and a little more flowy, join a hatha asana practice. If you're someone who likes to use props a lot, use Iyengar. Okay, so read what is present over there and see what you vibe with, and then decide on a school. Don't decide on a school and then go to it and then do the practice and then be like, oh, I'm not connecting with it. Because yoga is totally on connection. You have to connect with your practice to be able to spend your entire day in it. So yeah, so that's what I would like to say.
Okay, that's a pretty good information. Uh, Being a yoga professional, is it good enough to live a decent life?
Yes, absolutely. Again, see, if you're, I do not know what goes on in a mind who's in a person's mind who's very money minded. I am not. Uh, to be honest, my only goal in life is I should just have enough money to be able to someday open my own shala. And if I want to have 10 dogs, I should have enough money to be able to feed them. That is my only goal in life. And I'm extremely, and of course, to be able to pay for Wi Fi and just basic clothing and stuff like that. Uh, and at this current moment also, I can just talk about myself, but I stay on my own. I recently got an apartment for myself. I am able to pull the rent out. I have vegetables in my fridge. I have clothes in my account, in my wardrobe. I have a good running Wi-Fi, and I can lead a healthy and a happy life. But if you just want to keep wanting more, then you can do that also. You have portals like YouTube and Instagram, which you can use as free portals to put your practice forward. YouTube and Instagram, once you get a certain number of followers, also pay you. You can do retreats, you can do weekend workshops, you can do corporate tie-ups, you can do personal sessions. In personal sessions also, you have a medium class that you can cater, which will pay you a certain price. You have the upper strata, which will pay you a bomb. You have brands like the Diva Yoga, which I'm sure is paying a lot to its teachers. You can go join them. So you can live a good life. You can take vacations. You can. It's a little time consuming. I will give that much. If today I joined a corporate job, I would immediately, let's say, start getting a lakh in my account. That doesn't happen with yoga. You have to start small, and then grit by grit develop into a huge business for yourself. But yes, you can get there, and you can absolutely live a comfortable life. Today, at this given point, I am at a good level, if you talk about finances, and I can host myself, I can, let's say if people come over, I can take care of them. If tomorrow I want to go for a course, I can slowly build. But as I said, do not look at a chunk coming in immediately, like a corporate job or a business. It's no, like a corporate job, not business. Business also takes time. Be patient, be slow, have a strong foundation, even if you're earning less. Add things to your own self, grow your own self. The more practice you have, the more knowledge you have, the more you have to give with people, and that is what will help you up your game in finances also. If you're just offering them the same thing day after day, month after month, year after year, then you can also not expect them to pay a bond for your practice. So like, let's say for me, yoga is the primary goal, is what I teach, but I add mobility also, I add strength training also, I add diet also. I have recently started, like this year I wanted to do aerial yoga, add that to my kitty, but then corona happened, but I will do that. So I as a person want to attach different forms and then make a package and push that to people, so that I'm not just taking care of flexibility, I'm taking care of flexibility, strength, mental fitness, diets, mobility, your joints, everything. So you definitely can build a beautiful financial life also, and a beautiful spiritual life. Just stay at it and talk to yourself, see where you're going and where you want to get. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it.
So how long you have been teaching yoga?
2.5 years, I think now.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you do any other form of fitness training?
For my own self,
Yes.
I try to do whatever I can. I am so yoga is a primary form, and I think. Again, no offense to all the other practice, but I think this practice takes care of everything: strength, mobility, balance, core workout, back, legs, everything it takes care of. So you're very sorted. If you're doing an Ashtanga practice, you have stamina, like, you are sweating in like 20 minutes, and the practice takes one Ashtanga series will take you around about 2 hours to finish. Now imagine you're moving continuously for 2 hours, so it takes care of everything as a whole. But because I, as a person, naturally suffer with less upper body strength, like, I've never done push-ups. Upper body strength tends to sort of comes naturally in men. Women need to sort of work a little more for upper body strength. So like, I do pull-ups, I do my strength training, I do strength conditioning, from my planks to my sit-ups to inchworms, squats, everything I do. I try and attend a lot of flexibility, gymnastic-based classes, so I can sort of pull the little understanding of joint movements from the gymnastic classes also. So I try to add that. I have done aerial yoga also, like I've attended classes. I have not done a course and I've not taught it also. So I do that also. So me as a person, yoga is primary, but I like to attend different classes which are offering different forms of workout, and do body conditioning from that manner also. Yeah.
Okay. So fitness training has grown tremendously in India. How is the market in small town or in the hinterland?
It's good. It's good. Again, I would like to link to you two questions before, because of Modi. So what Modi has done, I feel he has filtered every village. He's one of the prime ministers who's ended up coming inside every home and getting into your psyche. So and because he does such huge events on International Yoga Day, the roads are blocked on those days. In a town like Dehradun, I remember last International Day, we were very close to where the yoga festival was happening, and I stepped out of my house, and I live in a colony and I had nowhere to go. Cars were parked, traffic jams are happening, and we live in my parents' house is in a very quaint, beautiful little society with nice trees, retired people staying, and it was all jam packed. So I feel because of how he is propagating yoga, small towns have started taking it seriously, which helps people like us increase business. Gyms have started becoming very serious about yoga. They want a very good yoga teacher who is teaching in the gyms. Otherwise, till now, काम चल रहा था, हम भी आगे जा रहे थे. Meditation has picked up massively, as I said, among young people. Parents are coming forward, and they are really it's amazing to see small town parents trying to understand that what their child is the world that they've brought their child into is a little difficult and chaotic and confusing. And they are seeing the peer pressure that's coming in children, the work pressure, the educational pressure that's coming, and they are understanding that if we were to introduce yoga and meditation to our child at the age of 6, at the age of 9, our child would just tend to do better. And that change I have seen in small town, because with small towns, it's as simple. The information that is in New York will take time to come to us. But first it will come to the metropolitan cities. Then from the metropolitan cities, it will spread to the tier 2 cities. Then from the tier 2 cities, it will spread to the tier 3 cities. So I feel because of this little thing, the business has grown for us in small towns. Social media has picked up in small towns a lot. Um, Again, that helps people like us, because if we are propagating ourselves on YouTube or on Instagram, and in small towns people don't know only what is an Instagram handle, then what is the point of being on an Instagram handle? Because your main market is where you stay, and then you can focus on the rest of the world, because again, you need to meet your day-to-day expenses. So it's definitely picking up. People are getting awareness of it. You now have full-fledged yoga studios running in small towns. You have Pilates studios running in small town. So yes, it's all good. It's all good. I'm very happy with the way it's going.
Okay, good to hear that. Uh, what I would like to ask, many people says that this particular aspect is important. So I want to ask you, how important is dressing for yoga or fitness training in general? And can wrong dressing cause any harm?
I'm quite a liberated person. I wear what I want. I have no issues with what people are wearing. But I feel there's just a very thin line in wearing what you want and it looking nice, and in just being a little tad bit more careful that, your body parts are not just showing in a wrong manner. So I think there's a very thin line that you have to demarcate for yourself. And moreover, I think if I went to a class, I would always just, if it's a spiritual practice and we're smiling, laughing, and doing something yoga, I would want to look at someone. I'm not saying be very properly dressed, but maybe like just simply your hair is tied up. I'm not saying have makeup on your face, and maybe you're just wearing very pastel or neutral colors, but just have an appearance where someone feels like they can connect to you. If you have a shabby appearance, let's say your clothes are falling and your hair is everywhere, they can't, and it's falling on your face, and they cannot even see your eyes. How are they going to connect with you? So I feel it is important. Um, I see people out there mixing something like yoga or mixing fitness with trying to bring the oomph out of their body. And I am not, I'm not totally pro of that. Maybe because yoga has given me so much, and I'm just emotionally connected to my practice. And as I said, there is a very thin line in looking vulgar in the clothes that you're wearing and looking decent and absolutely simple. So clothing is important. Do not wear stuff where everything is falling out, because people are coming to learn from you. They're not coming to just lech at you. So you need to sort of turn inwards and think as to how people want to look at you and then portray that. Apart from that, wear whatever. There are a lot of yoga practitioners who are extremely strict in India, that like men can come in shorts, but they're not too fond of women, even if it's foreigners, they're not too fond of women coming in sports bras and shorts. I personally think it's fine, because sometimes when you're doing such a fast-paced practice, the 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 softer the clothing or the least clothing will help you move better, because you're moving in different directions. And let's say if the heavier the clothing will be, or the longer the clothing is, just going to get caught in your movement, and you will trip and fall and maybe break your nose. So but a lot of traditional yoga teachers do not like it, because out of respect for our Indian society and our culture, the society doesn't really accept such form of clothing, so they want to respect the society, so they're not too fond of it. But me as a practitioner, I think I'm fine with what people wear. I'm comfortable with what they come into class with. As long as you are comfortable, you are fine with people looking the way you are, I'm no one who can really comment on that. Yeah.
Okay.
You should be comfortable with it.
All right. What is your favorite or preferred dressing for yoga?
What is my? I like being in a sports bra and tights, or something like this. This is cotton. It's extremely loose. It helps with the movement, and I'm wearing a sports bra on top. So something like this is absolutely comfortable to me, because you need to understand, like something with like an Ashtanga practice or other practices also, you tend to start sweating really fast, and everything starts sticking then. So it's like either you concentrate on your practice or you concentrate on what you're wearing. You can just concentrate on one thing. And I tell this to my students also, and I tell this to, let's say if you're having a meditation class, I tell them that you remove all the distractions which are around you, which you feel can be a distraction, because you're already trying to overcome your mind, which is already chaotic and full of distractions. So if you have distractions around you also, they're just going to add to it. So in your yoga practice also, wear what is comfortable. Don't wear like frilly stuff or oversized stuff, or like loose stuff like baggy pants or a baggy pajama which will just keep falling, क्योंकि या तो आप practice कर सकते हो या आप अपने कपड़े ध्यान रख सकते हो. So I am comfortable in something in lowers which are loose, in shorts, and a sports bra. It's absolutely comfortable for me, because in that way, like I can watch myself also when I'm moving. Uh, for example, if I'm doing this, I'll show it to you from the side. If
Yes.
I'm doing this and there's a lot of clothing over here, how am I going to see my knees? Or how am I going to see my legs? How am I going to see my core? Let's say if I'm wearing something full, I know I have awareness towards my knee, my elbows and my shoulders and everything. But let's say I'm trying. So when I try a new asana, I put a video camera on because I stay on my own and I record it. Now, if I'm wearing a lot of clothes, I will not be able to see my alignment.
Okay.
So I wear what is comfortable. I just try that the fabric is extremely light. It's not like heavy fabric. That's one of the main things that I keep in mind.
Okay, that's certainly good information. Now, I want to come to a very, very important aspect which has been linked to yoga, fitness, and other things. One thing which you already talked about a little bit, the spirituality, and another thing is the mental aspect. Today's world,
Yes,
the mental aspect is very important, both for
yes,
men and women. I don't know, for somehow, the mainstream media talks mental health of only women. We talk about the mental health of everyone, as a human being. Please tell our viewers how yoga can help mental health and mental well-being of person, and people can learn from this and help themselves.
see, when you do something like yoga tends to open all the energy blocking in your body, okay? Because you're doing an asana flow, the more you're moving physically, the more your entire body is open. So, physically, you're taking care of that aspect. Okay, now when you're taking care of that aspect, when your body starts looking better, when you start feeling lighter, it tends to turn your attention towards the food you're consuming. Okay, so automatically you start consuming the right portion, you start watching what you're eating, make sure it's healthy, protein is going at the right time, carb is going at the right time, and all of that. So that takes care of your food aspect. Now once you've taken care of your physical aspect and your food aspect, this body of ours is like a machine. Okay, when you put the right amount of petrol, you've run it the right amount of kilometers, its functioning is right. When you've done your asana practice, you put the right food, your body as a machine is going to function right. Your immunity will be better, your metabolism will be better, your digestion will be better, your organs will be better. When all of this is functioning in a healthy manner, half your issues from life have gone. Okay, when you're not completely full, you're less lethargic, your mind focuses better, you tend to work longer hours, you are just more efficient. uh, Sometimes people come to me when I'm doing a meditation class and they're like, oh ma'am, we just had like a huge meal and I will need to meditate, and halfway in the meditation they've gone to sleep. And I'm like, this is exactly what I am talking about. So what I'm trying to say over here is, when you take care of your physical aspect and your internal aspect, and when you attach something like yoga to it, and you're doing all your niti, so your jal niti, bhastrika, noli, you're doing the cleansing from within. Okay, your shat karma kriyas. When you're doing all of this, and you combine all of that together, and now this body that you have, that the machine that we are talking, it's all going to affect you mentally. The combination of all of this, the cleansing of all of it, is going to straight shoot to your mind. Your mind is going to function better because you're healthy. Your mind is going to focus, not be lethargic, not be overpowering with gluttony, have more willpower because you're taking care of your aspects like food and where to exert your energy. Your body from inside, because you're doing your cleansing, is more on a spiritual level. Thus, you will be more righteous, you will be honest, you will not hurt people, you will not overstep people, you will not con people. So you're taking care of a physical aspect, you're taking care of your spiritual aspect, you're taking care of your food, mental, from internally the physical aspect, all of them combining and attacking your mind. So of course the mind is going to be in a better state. You will have the power and the courage to deal with the issues that come, because your mind, आपने अपने mind को हटाया है to, so most of the times our mind is just focusing on nonsense and shit that is irrelevant. Okay, there is this guy called Tommy Rose on an Instagram. I was listening to his podcast one day, and he said most of us, we spend our entire life either being stuck in the past or dwelling about the future. If you think about it, maybe right now when we are eating, let's say we are eating, half the time we are thinking, अच्छा मील खत्म करके ये काम करना है, ये काम करना है, ये काम करना है, ठीक है. आप meditation में बैठे हो, आधे time the people are thinking this only. Oh my God, for how long do I have to sit? Okay, 20 minutes has been that it started. I think just 40 minutes. We are very close. 10 minutes and it's going to be done. I can go eat and do whatever. It might sound very small. If you look at it, it is dwelling over the future moment. So what has happened that in the present, you missed the present moment. Or otherwise, you're whining about our mother said this, that boss said this, I had a bad work environment, my boyfriend broke up with me, that relation, that time he said this time he said this. What are you doing now? Now you're dwelling in the past. So we spend majority of our life doing that. When you're a yoga practitioner and you start eliminating all of this from your mind, you start living in the better, and this machine that is our body, the functioning of it ups its game. So you have a clear mind. You have a mind which is not full of bogus things. You have a body that's going to live longer, function better. I do not know any women who doesn't practice yoga and has ended up getting pregnant in their 40s. I know only yoga practitioners who are still getting pregnant in their 40s. And for me, that means something, because you are cleansing your body is void of everything that destructs the body. Stress, liquor, drugs, emotional imbalance, depression, anxiety, because you're practicing yoga. Day and night you're practicing, so your body is still staying in a healthy state. Thus, you can still get pregnant at 40 because your hormones are all working. But usually women cannot, half time because of the stress question or liquor, drugs, bad eating habits. So you just tend to like ruin everything inside. So if you practice something like yoga, you're taking care of so many elements. There is no way that it's not going to affect you mentally and help you cope with everything that comes. The things that I have gotten through my life with practicing yoga and have had the courage to deal with so much and still to go on in life, it's just because of the practice that I do, the kind of time I put into it. And I can just talk from my example. Sometimes when I'm doing an asana practice and my mind is just clouded and blurry with like the past or the future or something like that, and I'm doing my asana practice, as I told you, as I go forward, it's all the haze and the cloud and the fog starts clearing up, and you start seeing things clearly. You start investing in things that actually matter or will matter in the next 5 years. So I think a combination of the asana practice, the mental practice, the soul cleansing that you do attacks your overall mind, which sort of filters into your rest of the body and your rest of the life. And I always say this, that out of all the forms of fitness, yoga is the only form of fitness which they say is a lifestyle. They do not call the gym the lifestyle or Pilates the lifestyle. Yoga is the only form that is known as a lifestyle because it is a way of living. It's not just asana practice. The entire way you start living eating right, being a good citizen, being a good human, not conning people, not lying, being honest, being righteous, all of that works. That sort of starts filtering into your life. So yes, it does help mentally
Okay,
a lot.
that's
And you asked me one question. So I think so I've noticed this in our East, that men do not really tend to take up on a yoga practice, but I have noticed so many men from the West who are die-hard fans of yoga. And I would just want to take this medium and tell men that do not think it's for the older, do not think it's for the or it's for the or do not think it's for old people, or do not think it's just for women. It's here for everyone. And if you feel you a softer practice because you're man, you're more testosterone and you want to work it all out, and you feel that a hatha practice is not just it, come join an Ashtanga practice. And you are going it at it, you're doing planks. Chaturanga and plank is the same thing in a gym language and yoga practice. So you were moving, there is sweat, you're building muscles, and you can feel all manly, how men want to feel, I'm assuming. But you can feel this in this practice. And I feel that not only women are burdened with what is happening in the world, men are also equally burdened. We sort of tend to think that men have easy, but men also do not have an easy. The entire burden of running a family is on men. Men do not share. Men are not prone to sharing emotions. They keep everything in their heart. That's why I think someday I randomly heard that men are more prone to heart attacks than women. I was listening to the documentary also on the pandemic on Netflix, and they said that men are more prone to getting the coronavirus than women. So poor men, okay, they also have their problems. So please do a yoga practice. It's going to be as beneficial for you and as soul searching and as gratifying as it is for the rest of us. Yeah.
yeah. Yes, the numbers of COVID-19s are showing up that overwhelmingly, it's the men who are dying, all over
Yes.
the world.
Even I strongly believe that one of the reasons why men are being attacked more with this disease is, which was also there in the documentary, is that men are a little more pro to smoking than women. uh, Women might start smoking a little later in life because of peer pressure or college or whatever, but men tend to start smoking at a very early age. They start to drink faster than women. Like, what I mean is earlier in age than women. So I think because of all of this, men tend to get into drugs also faster than women. So I think they just, because they have got into all these vices before women, is why the respiratory tract, I think, suffers more. But I think that's about it. I do not think there is any other reason. And I really wish that men also put the kind of effort in a yoga practice as women do, or the elderly can, or the men in the West do, because men need to grow as much as we women need to grow. There is no two ways about it. We can now, a lot of time, a lot of women think the feminist movement is about women picking themselves up, but it's about equality. It's about equality between both the genders. And one gender cannot move forward without the other gender. Both genders have to move forward equally. So, yeah. So I wish there
Okay,
were more men in India who were turning towards the
okay.
practice.
So that's discussion for another day. So today we'll speak
Yes.
mainly about fitness. Uh,
Yes.
so what you said was very enlightening. So I want to ask you one thing over here. Uh, at this particular time of lockdown, you said man, women, both of them can be victim of domestic abuse or violence. Then there are fathers who are not able to meet their child because most of the time custody of child will be with the mother. So at this point of time, many people, even people who are simply sitting at home, could be depressed, could be going through a lot of mental issues. So who, what they can do, in a very, very in their small way to relieve themselves of the stress which may be developing at this point of time.
The first point, I'll just say 2 points for this, and the first point has got to do nothing with fitness, even though this is a fitness conversation, but it is not. It's got to do with it's got to do with your mental fitness, okay? And I would like to say this to everyone out there: talk. Guys, you need to start talking. You need to start talking to your partner, even if you're 60. You need to not just keep sitting, men, you need to not just keep sitting in your room and, drinking and just like lashing out. Women, you need to get out of the kitchen and maybe talk to your man. You've forgotten him in the wake of your children. So I feel the one thing that everyone needs to do is talk to each other. We are not doing that only. Yeah? In a family of four, nobody knows what is happening in the other person's life. Everyone's on the phone. सबने अपने फिटनेस के अलग रास्ते ढूंढ लिए हैं, अपना कुकिंग अलग कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ इतना अलग अलग हो गया है. And this is family set to stick by forever. And if you feel that you are having trouble discussing things with your partner, discuss it with a friend, discuss with someone, but please start talking. The number of cases that I'm hearing about domestic violence, or and not just like hitting and stuff, verbal violence is also like people are saying things that are not required because they're frustrated. And I think it's very important that we all understand that this is a huge planet. Corona has struck everyone and everyone is frustrated. So you need to talk, okay? And please start being kind. What I am going through, you are going through, what you and I are going through, someone else is going through, what our viewers are going through, viewers of other channels are going through, we are all going through the same thing. So before you start lashing out on someone or saying something mean, please understand they are in the same boat as you are. So I think talking is going to help people massively. Your mental fitness is as important as your physical. I think more people have cured themselves of such ailments by being fit here mentally. There are cancer patients or AIDS patients or patients who are dying who still have a zeal of life and will light up the room when people walk in. And there'll be the same person who will have the same disease and will be like, oh, this had to happen with me only, mere saath kyun hua, and everything like that, right? So try and make the shift in your attitude. Try and understand we're all in the same boat. So talk, be kind, and the third, do a physical exercise. Move. When you move your body, the energy in your body moves. Okay? Stretch if you want to. Open all your pores in your body. Breathe more. For most of us, our breath is just till our chest. Like everything else in our life, we have shortened our breath. Your breath is supposed to be right till your belly. With the way I have improved my breathing, now when I breathe, I feel my entire abdomen and my ribcage from the back, everything is pulling oxygen in, and then I'm exhaling out. Okay, so when you breathe from your entire being. Because if you think about it, we spend our life worrying about money, finances, relatives, vacations, house, building more empire, everything. But if someone were to come in, close your mouth, and block your nose and take your breath away, no matter what you had in life, nothing would be able to save you. Your breath is the only thing that comes and goes every millisecond of the day. Your breath is the only thing which is keeping you alive in this planet. Yes, everything else helps us move, but this is the only thing which taken away will never come back. Family will come back, relatives will come back, money will come back, everything will come back, but your breath will never come back. So breathe more, open yourself more. We as yoga teachers, so many of us are coming online. We're doing Instagram videos. I run a YouTube channel which I started mainly more. I kept thinking about it and I decided that I need to start my YouTube channel. And in Corona, I started because I felt I need to put small videos out there, which people can do at home. Okay, they're very short videos, and a lot of us are doing stuff like this. आप YouTube पे जाइए, आपको जो सीखने सीखिए, जो form of fitness उठाने उठाइए, and there is ample information there. And if you feel that you cannot move like for half an hour, do 10 minutes. Do just 10 minutes. Start with 10 minutes. Do just stretching, if not a fast-paced workout too, but do something. This is your own body. You invest so much in your children, in your partner, in life in general. I think if you were just to make a little shift, invest a little more energy in your own self, you would just be a much more happier person. So talk, be kind, and add a 10-minute workout and see how your life starts changing massively on a day-to-day basis. So I think at home, this is what people can do. From Shilpa Shetty to Sadhguru has a session from 6 to 7 o'clock in the evening, a live session which is free for everyone. Baba Ramdev is putting so many things. People like us are putting so many things. So there's ample amount of knowledge. You can pick and choose whatever you like, but add a 10-minute workout sitting at home. And now you have the time. You have no excuse. Others people have excuse. हमें job पे जाना है, हमारे बच्चे हमको school पे लेके जाना है. अब तो excuse ही नहीं है. अब तो कोई लो. So yeah.
That's great. So, what is your favorite yoga asanas?
What is my favorite yoga asana? Aye. There are so many. There are so many. So I love doing headstands, for sure. I'm currently working on my forearm stands and my handstands. Again, as I said, I struggle with upper body, so it takes a little time to. It's taking a lot of time for me to come in handstands. But my forearm stands, I've fallen in love with forearm stands recently. The sort of balance and mind's attention that you need when you do inversions is another ball game altogether, because you're upside down. And first you have to learn to see the world when you're standing straight. Now you have to learn to see the world when you're upside down. So it's just a challenge in its own journey. So I love doing headstands and forearm stands. I am particularly extremely fond of things to do with the spine. So not just back bends, forward folds, back bends, a lot of things to do with the lower spine, your pelvic area. So those are also something that I really like doing. And I think because I struggle with upper body strength, like my arms are a little weak, and I started doing a lot of strength training for it also. But I love doing hand stuff. Like I love doing inversions. I love staying on my hands more and slowly build their strength, because I feel when I'm able to do them, they bring sort of a sense of accomplishment, because I have worked towards something for months, and today I'm able to hold myself just on my wrists. So that's something that I love doing too.
Okay, so can you show our viewers some of the important asanas which you would recommend?
Yes, so I will tell you, I would love to add 2 asanas for your digestion, which you can sit at home and do, and there is nothing is required. You can be on your bed also and do it. I will. Do you want me to show for something specific?
No, you take it up, because you are the teacher, so you take it up what you would recommend. So the stage is yours.
All right. So I'll quickly run you through maybe just something that you can do for your abdomen while you're staying at home. Some exercises that you can do, and a little of breath work also that you can do.
All right, great.
So, 1 second, just let me turn on that. So you can start with simply sitting in Vajrasana. If at any point you cannot see the full screen, please let me know.
Yes.
You can start at simply sitting with Vajrasana. It takes a lot of time to sit in this asana comfortably because of this fold that comes around your ankle. All right, it's quite painful if you're not used to it. So if you're a beginner and you're like, I'm dying and I don't want to sit, put a little cushion or put a blanket or put like a towel, wrap it up and put it under your ankle and start sitting in it. Not only does this keep your spine's posture straight, tones your knees and your legs as well as your ankles, the motion that is created with your ankle hitting your hip, the angle that both of these heels create tends to go and touch your one of the veins that is very important for your digestion. So when it touches that, it tends to increase the regulation of your digestion more. So you will see a lot of time yogis or people who are aware of it, after you eat a meal, you tend to sit like this, because your digestion improves and just becomes faster. So whatever you're eating will start breaking faster. When your food that is going inside the body will break faster, in general, you're not going to feel heavy. There's not going to be too much fat. You're not going to gain weight too fast because आपने अपना digestion ही fast कर दिया. अगर वो पूरा organ और उसका functioning ही fast हो गया, so no matter what you put inside, it'll be fine. That doesn't mean that you'll just like start hounding or like pizzas and stuff. Oh, Arunima said that if you sit like this, everything will be fine. Let's eat all the pizzas of your world. Do not do that. Okay, so do that. Try and sit in this for as long as you can. A lot of students who come to me face a lot of knee issues, and these are young kids, okay? When I tell them to do mountain, almost young, let the older clan be. All the young students are like this, Okay, and they cannot straighten their knees. So for everyone, I'm just going to run you through quickly through some movement that you can sit at home and do just for your knees. All right. So you take your leg, you fold it close. So this is my right leg. You fold it close to your body. You take your hand and you hold your knee pit. Okay. You straighten your spine, pull your knee close, and all you have to do is rotate your knee. That is all you have to do. So you take your knee, you stretch it, and you bring it all the way down. You take your knee, you stretch it, you bring it all the way down. Now in this, keep in mind that you're not doing this. It is not a thigh rotation, it is a knee rotation. Secondly, this is not what you're doing. This is an ankle rotation. Okay? Keep your leg here. When you start stretching it, keep looking at your toe and try and straighten your knee pit. Till the time this does not become straight, keep doing your knee rotations till then. This not only, so people, I've seen that people's knees have started to get locked, their knee pit is not open, they just have so much pain in the knee. So this will help the blood circulation around your knee also improve, and it will open your knee pit more, thus increasing the flexibility. So do this for your knees, clockwise and anti-clockwise. The second stretching that you can do for your knees is you take it forward, you breathe in, bring it all the way for your knee till your chin. You exhale, and when you exhale, don't just leave it loose. Stretch it so that your knee pit is open. Okay, inhale it again and exhale it again. Okay, so 1, 2. The third that you can do is pull your feet closer to your body. Take your hands and hold your sole. All right. Once this is done, pull your body back and start straightening your knee till the time your knee is absolutely straight. Even if you're here, guys, it's all right. Even I started from here and it's taken me time to come here. But hold yourself here. For the ones who can hold yourself here, try and bring your leg as close to your body as you can. All right. So please do this for the knees. Digestion, knee. I'll add something for the spine also, which is again very healthy. A lot of you people will know it. Doctors recommend it. Physiotherapists recommend it. It's called cat and cow, which is mainly for your entire spine. Okay. So you come and sit in this position. Again, if you have knee issues, please put something underneath your knee. Okay. Don't like break them. Your hip has to be right under your knee. So do not be here, do not be here. Straight, okay? And your shoulder has to be right under, above your ankle. All right? Remember, it is not an elbow movement. It is not a hip movement. It is a spine movement. So you breathe in, you dip your lower spine, middle spine, upper spine, chest open, neck up. You exhale and start pulling your entire spine all the way to the ceiling. You breathe in, lower spine, middle, upper, neck up, chest open. And you exhale and stretch and push yourself away from the floor towards the ceiling. So you can do this with the spine. Okay. Now stay in this position. If you're a beginner, try and do at least like 50 to 100 a day. Breathe in when you go up, exhale when you come out. Okay, I'll just quickly show it to you once more. Breathe in, breathe up, breathe in, breathe out. All right, now staying here, take your hands forward, okay, and start dipping yourself all the way till the floor. Now, if you cannot bring your chest to the floor, put your head, okay, and slowly, slowly work your way down. If you can, put your head, and that's comfortable, try your chin, okay. If the chin is also comfortable, then go all the way till your chest. So you can try doing something like this. Digestion, knee, spine. The last one that I showed you takes care of your entire upper body. So you can do that also. Do we have time? Do we have a little more time?
Yes, certainly.
Yeah? Yeah, perfect. So I will just show you one more thing for digestion. I will show you something for your knees, which is very easy, that, for your core, that you can do from home also. So lie down on your mat, right? In a comfortable position. Make sure your spine is not arched. You tuck your tailbone in. Okay, from here, take your right leg, pull it in. Okay, I don't have space over here, but make sure your left leg is straight on the floor. So take your right leg, hold it from the shin, and pull it in towards your stomach and not upward towards your neck. Okay, it has to put pressure on your stomach. So what is this doing? When you're pushing pressure down, it is going and putting pressure on your digestion, again improving your digestion. Guys, remember, having a good digestive tract is the key. Okay, don't focus on what you're eating right now. Just focus on improving and having better and healthy organs, and everything else will fall into place. So you can do it once with this leg, let the leg fall. You can do it with the other. Again, remember, press it in and not upward. Okay, press it in on your tummy, and then you can repeat the same thing with both your legs. And then release. Now, if you have abdominal issues, you can do this also. If you have indigestion, constipation, you can try all these asanas, extremely very healthy. Another thing that you can do which helps you relieve of pain from your hip and your pelvic area, as well as your hamstrings. Okay, I'll try and go as slowly as I can for you guys. So take your leg and very gently put it on your knee. All right, that's about it. Start pushing. So this is my left leg. Start pushing the left knee out. Okay, as you do this, take your right leg and start pulling yourself in. Okay, take your left hand from in between your two legs. Take your right hand and come and hold your shin and pull it closer. This looks easy, but it is a little painful if you'll be a beginner, because your lower spine stretches, your pelvic stretches, your hip stretches, your hamstring stretches. And on the other side, because you made this position, there is a lot of extreme pressure that is coming on the knee. So be very gentle with yourself and hold here. And then repeat, release, and then you repeat from the other leg. Just make sure that when you bring your legs in, you keep pushing the right knee out. Alright? So you can do this. Knees. So usually in my classes also, I focus on the entire body. But recently I have been focusing a lot on the spine and the knees and the neck, because these are in the little tenure that I have been in the field of the fitness. I realized that these are the main problem areas. The number of people who have cervical and slip disc is just massive, or issues to do with the spine. So I tend to focus a lot on these areas. So yeah, you can do things like this. I can quickly show you an Astanga Surya Namaskar also. Very easy. You can add it in your daily practice. I know people who are doing just Surya Namaskars and they are ending up losing a lot of weight also, maintaining well-being also. Come and stand in front of your mat, okay? Feet together, body straight. Roll your shoulders back, be long and tall. Bring your hands next to your heart center, okay? Breathe in, long and tall hand. Take your hands to the top in a namaskar. With exhalation, come into a full forward bend. Okay, now make sure, usually a lot of times when you guys go into a full forward bend, it is like this. You're taking your hip back and adjusting. Keep your hip here in alignment. Be straight and tall, and then bring your lower spine to open and adjust. Alright? So we were at a full forward bend. You lengthen yourself, look up, put your hands down, bend your knee, and jump back. You come into Chaturanga, which is the plank position. Okay, you come into Chaturanga. From here, you come into Chaturanga Dandasana. So you're holding yourself on your two arms and your two legs. You inhale, come into Bhujang. Again, opening your spine. This is a beautiful heart opener also. Going back into mountain. Make sure that you're pushing yourself away from the ground. Okay, and lengthening your entire spine. You look up, you jump forward, you lengthen your spine up, you're going to a full forward bend and you breathe in. You enter Namaskar and then Samastiti. So you can add these little things in your daily asana practice. For you viewers, I'd even like to say that I think I added this before. I have added a lot of spinal movement workouts, and I have added a lot of hip and hamstring openers on my YouTube channel. They're free for you guys. Please take them, learn, practice them. They're just free, but just go work out, work on yourself, and try and build a better body. Another thing I would like to add is, which I feel is very important, which you can tell your viewers, try and make fitness or your well-being or wellness, whatever you like to call it, try and make it a part and parcel of your life. Try and make it a thumb rule. So for example, let's say I'm sitting and I'm talking to my friend. Okay, let's say a friend is here. And I'm talking to her and I'm like, what are you doing? And we're at home. You know, you can just sit in butterfly and keep doing it like what's up and whatever. You're watching TV, you can be in butterfly. You can cross your legs, you're watching TV, you can keep twisting for a while. Alright? Or you can keep doing your wrist mobility. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, the more you move while sitting only, the more your body is just generally going to respond better. Okay, so you do not have to put a 2-hour asana practice. You put little effort, little changes during your entire day, and it's going to filter in your entire body and life. So this is something that I try and do myself, and I think it's a trick which works wonderfully. So yeah, so you guys can use it, and I hope you implement it.
Okay, so you tag yourself. I saw that Aru's yoga journey. What does this yoga journey mean for you?
So I think when I decided to put my name in Aru's yoga journey, I had already dealt with certain issues in my life that yoga helped me to cope better with or get through, and not as I told you, I had anxiety, and I used to have it quite often earlier. Now the case, like when I get an anxiety attack or something, is very less. So the reason I did Aru's yoga journey was because I'm a very vocal person. I do not come with the mindset that I need to, whatever's happening in my life, to keep it to myself. Whatever's happening in my life, everyone is aware of it. It's on Instagram, my best friends know about it. Everyone's aware of it. So when it was yoga journey, the intent was to tell people, especially the youth, that whatever is happening in your life is happening with my life too. Even I go through breakups, even I go through bad corporate life, fights with families, everything that we all on a daily basis go with. But because the world is more chaotic and our problems have increased, we do not have the strength or the patience or the bandwidth to deal with these little problems. That's why we are going into depression so fast. Anxiety so fast. We're all the time lonely, even though so many people are around us. So I wanted to do Aru's yoga journey because I want people to see that how this practice has helped me become a better and more honest person, and where it's taking me in life. I have become more clear in what I want in life. I tend to take stronger and harder decisions, which might be difficult, but I know that otherwise, if you think about it, a normal layman, how do you find the strength to actually take a difficult decision and then live with it? हम आधे टाइम डरते ही रहते हैं, हमने ये डिसीजन ले लिया, ये हो जाएगा, लोग क्या कहेंगे, कैसे कर पाएंगे? But I know in my case that's not there. I will take a decision irrespective of how hard it will be on me, and no matter how much I have to lose, because I know that is for the better. And I feel yoga is the only thing that's given me the strength to do that. So that is why it was Aru's yoga journey, because I want to share what is happening with my life with everyone else. And I want that as I go forward, as my career and my craft goes forward, I don't only want it to be a space where we're talking of Arunima's yoga journey and what she has dealt with in her life. I want other people to attach their journeys with me, and then we collectively move forward. That is why the word journey is so important in it, because it's just going to be lifelong. It's a lifelong process of self-evolvement, self-growth, self-nourishment, and it's a journey which is going to take all of us to places. So that is where the intent comes from for Aru's yoga journey.
In these days of Instagram, everybody is kind of a fitness instructor, and as you said, they're trying to teach. So how do you classify yourself as a fitness worker?
So in this field where Everyone's on Instagram. I take myself as a beginner. I feel I am. It is now that I've started to understand what I really am into, and I'm just talking about my yoga practice. It is now that I've understood that this practice is not just to do with asana. It's got to do with a lifetime full of gratitude. It's got to do with a lifetime full of surrender. To surrender to things that you're oblivious to in your normal being. This word surrender holds a lot of importance in my life, to be able to just let go of yourself and whatever mankind has taught, and to surrender to whatever is up there in the divine, and to just let be. Uh, Now I have started understanding the meaning of all of this, and I have finally understood that yoga is not something I can learn in a day or in a year or in 10 years. It is self growth till the day you die. Self change, self growth, improvement till the time I do take my last breath. I'm going to keep practicing yoga. I'm going to keep learning yoga. So I feel I'm just a beginner. I see people. I'm also a normal person like everyone else. I also want to sometimes sleep in late or like watch Netflix, and I can't do any of that. But that's fine with me. But what I'm trying to say is that there are so many people out there who are putting day and night into this practice, and they're superb. The way they're presenting themselves, the kind of information that they're bringing to the table, the kind of time they're spending in gaining that knowledge themselves, and then putting that out is just beautiful for me. So I feel that I'm a beginner at yoga, but I do feel that I'm good at my practice. I do feel that when I'm trying to tell people, takes a little time to understand, because it takes a lot of courage to take the path that I am taking, and courage is not something that is just naturally comes to us. Courage means when you have courage, and when you need to take decisions with courage, it there's a lot that comes with it also. You can't just take a decision which is hard because you have courage and then not have reciprocations of that. So, so I feel what I'm trying to communicate to the people who follow me is finally reaching them. There are people who have started opening up with their issues, personal issues, since I started coming out. And so there needs to be someone, and I also did it because I saw some people who are in the field coming out with the issues that we people are told not to talk to, let's say by parents or grandparents or society. So so that is where I look at myself. I am connecting massively with the youth nowadays. People are coming and talking to me about so many things, and people love my practice, and I'm so ever kind to them, and they really like what I'm putting out there. But yes, we are a work. We are humans, and we are supposed to change every day and grow every day. So I hope there comes a day that I'm better than what I'm today, and then there comes a day that I'm better than what I am that day also. But I'm a work in progress. So I think I'm good. There's always so much scope to become better.
Okay. So what tips you would give to one who would like to become a yoga teacher?
To study. No, okay? Don't just because everyone's doing yoga and it looks pretty, and oh, we are wearing all these small clothes and doing all these asanas. That's not yoga. You need to take loads of steps back and understand what it is all about, and it's not easy. I want to tell everyone who wants to join yoga that it is not easy. Imagine people have a 9 to 5 job. So let's say now you are at your house, you need to do that same thing in your house, and you need to have a strong willpower. You need to be able to get out of your bed every day, not leave the house, and make your own house your working environment. So everything you're getting onto the table now has to come to from your own self. Nobody is paying you. You will break down millions of times because you will be worried about finances. And it's you can always join yourself with communities. I don't want to do that. I want to build myself on my own. But you can always work under someone and earn some kind of money. But eventually, I think everyone wants to start their own practice and do this on their own. So whoever is joining yoga, please study. Know what you want to join. Don't just join the bandwagon because everyone is doing it. Okay, it's a lot of effort. It is a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, lot of bending, lot of physical pain that you have to go through also to reach here. So be sure. Make sure you have discipline, study, know what kind of yoga you want to do, talk to people who are in that field, Google, research, and lastly, try. see what form you want to do. Okay, go try a class everywhere. Okay, one day walk into an Ashtanga class, one day walk into a Hatha class, one day walk into a Iyengar class, yoga class, power yoga class. See what you vibe with, and then take the practice forward and read. Read as much as you can. We are sitting in this mass bubble of knowledge, and you can take it from every angle. It's just pouring in right now. People are giving free sessions, free Instagram live. They're putting posts up, writing everything. So there's a flood of knowledge. So just try and soak it all in, and I'm sure you'll be very good. And of course, people like whoever sees this, you want to join yoga, you're free to message me anytime, and whatever help I could be, I would always put it forward.
That's very nice of you, Arunima. Uh, Throughout this interview, you mentioned a couple of times. So, can we say that a lot of women is, seeing yoga as a fashion or a glamour statement?
Yes, I can say that. I can say that. I see that. I'm not really a fan of that, but I'm a very open-minded person too. I'm a very to each its own kind of a person, so I don't really bother. Um, but if you're in the field of yoga, out of the respect of the fact that you're teaching something that you don't even know how old it is, out of just respect the practice for that sake, and don't try and exploit it. Someone is coming to you with their life in your hands. We might not have the knowledge of doctors, but someone is coming to you with their mental mind frame. You can mold it, change it, direct it, or put it on fire. But the fact is it's in your hands to change that person's life. So when you have something like that given in your hands, use it wisely and make sure you have direction yourself so that you're able to give direction to someone else. If you are only lost, how are you going to guide someone else back home? So make sure your knowledge is that before you start. If someone comes to you, let's say for example, someone comes to you and says that I have multiple sclerosis. Okay, understand what is multiple sclerosis. Don't be like, "Ki, acha, मैं तो आपके like 10,000 rupees दूंगी per session and just join." Don't be like that. Give them a day, go back, study what the issue is, what the disease is, can you heal it also, and then go and heal the person. Because people do come to us in the hope that we will help them take life better. And it is your utmost responsibility when you're in this field that you do help people the right way. So yeah, just don't exploit it. Understand that this practice is way older than your little petty issues or your fashion or your ego, your temperament. It's so much more than just our little small being over here. So respect that, and I think we can all together make the world a very good place.
Certainly. Arunima, I saw you worked with Zivame, promoting
Yes,
their activewear.
yes,
How
yes,
often do
yes.
you work with brands and do you earn from it?
When you're in a small town, something like that tends to come across a little less because all these brands and the headquarters and everything are based in multinational cities, and there are already so many yoga people over there. So sometimes girls or guys in smaller towns sort of tend to miss out on these opportunities, and I wish these people looked at us more because we are also doing equivalent hard work. But because I travel end of the year, every year I end up traveling to some place where I want to go practice, is where I build contacts also. And that's how Zivame came to me, because I worked with someone in Bangalore and they approached them and they approached me because I worked with them, and it all sort of panned out. Different brands again work differently. Some brands will give you vouchers for, like, they'll give you 10,000 voucher that go pick up whatever you want from our activewear, or they'll give you cash. So it's about finding a balance with them, and you can always have a conversation and see whatever you are comfortable with, and you can work. But you always end up making something, like, for sure, with them.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
So,
But there's a
the,
lot of free work also that you do, and I think you should, because everyone cannot pay you, and there are a lot of NGOs which are struggling themselves, but they want to bring the practice to, let's say, the elderly clan, or they want to build money for a good cause and something. So if something comes across, like I do a lot of that work, if something comes across, then once in a while do that also.
certainly, that's great. So, do you have any website?
No, I'm working on my website. I have all my content ready. We've already started putting it all together. And so I just started my YouTube channel, which I've already spoken about. Right now, I'm just available on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And hopefully, before Corona ends, my website should be up too.
Okay, so let's go to our next question. How badly the lockdown and coronavirus has affected your yoga teachings? Anyway,
Happiest person. I think it's worked out wonderfully for me because, to be honest, truthfully, I had never even looked at online as a portal to teach. It was in the back of my mind, like I was going to start my YouTube channel, and I was going to make sessions for people, more curating them to people's need or to a certain ailment or something. So I was going to do all of that, but it just didn't come to my mind to teach classes online. And I think it is even because there was a consumer also lacking for that. जब कोरोना नहीं था तो लोग अपने vicinity में yoga classes ढूंढ लेते हैं. They tend to go that. They will not be like, oh, someone sitting in Dehradun, I really like a practice, so let me get on a call with her. But what has happened is, in the past 2.5 years that I've taught, I have had a lot of people who visited to Dehradun and stayed here for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and have come and practiced with me and then gone back. And now all of those people have come together because they like the practice with me, but they couldn't practice with me. They have come together, and now we've made this little online family, and we're practicing in the evening and morning together. So I have people from Varanasi, Delhi, Gurgaon, Bangalore, Beer, Germany, US, and we're doing morning and evening sessions. And I say this every day. It's by God's grace that in a time like this, where people are struggling and where the money that they have is also going, I have been given this opportunity to be able to make money. So that's why for me it's a blessing in disguise, and I don't think I could be happier. Corona has not hit me that badly because I stay busy during the entire day. From Monday to Friday, I'm packed with classes, and there are so many people who are approaching for corporate sessions for their employees, or like sessions with someone else, or like interviews. I've done sessions for Red FMs on breathwork. So I keep doing things like this. So it's working out wonderfully.
that's great to hear, Arunima. Positive voice during the lockdown.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk with Traveling Bits. Viewers, you can follow Arunima on Instagram handle called Aru's Yoga Journey, and on YouTube by Arunima Sharma.
Arunima Sharma. Yes. I'm a very funny person. I will keep you very entertained. I'm horrible at all the Instagram games that keep coming on, and please feel free to talk to me about anything and everything that your viewers would ever like to ask.
And don't forget to subscribe to Traveling Bits channel and click on the bell icon for updates. Do subscribe to Arunima's channel as well so that you can learn more on yoga. Stay home, stay safe, and God bless India.
Thank you. Bye.